Hey everyone, this is Al Backness here, Managing Director of Architecture and Platforms here at KINETIQ. Welcome back to our series on Fabric Planning, where we are taking you through sales and operations planning within the solution and walking you through what a day in the life can look like for your team in the platform. Before I get into the contents of our SKU planning video today, I wanted to quickly talk about a story on a client who had a major pain point in their organization and what that financial implication was for them by not having integrated planning in place. For this client, their data lived in different ERP systems. Their planning was being done across spreadsheets, and they were managing hundreds, going to thousands of SKUs as they grew by acquisition. The challenge for them was various different departments working on different demand adjustments, having to move that data to the production planning team to reflect what truly can be produced and what can't, and finance having a disconnect in terms of what the revenue and the cost impact was for the organization itself. With Fabric Planning, this can be unified into one place using the concept of connected planning. We talked a little bit about the stat forecast being the starting point for organizations to understand into the future what their demand can look like by week. Like any organization, you're going to have market intelligence on what is happening within the business. And it's important that you reflect what your demand would look like if there were no constraints around production. This is where teams can come in and make adjustments. Let's say, for example, I want to go ahead here and change my unconstrained demand to 5,000. Not only can I come in here and see that reflected, but I can also factor in any sort of production lead times where for these units right here that we have demand for, we need to ensure that they are produced from a lead time perspective in a quick fashion. Not only that, but we can also go ahead and leave commentary. I can go ahead and say that this is due to customer ABC. And because of this, we can immediately see how this reflects against our original statistical forecast that we just had before. So we not only can see commentary on here, we can also add commentary for our team to see. We can also reflect any sort of constrained demand. Maybe, for example, we're not going to be able to hit that demand. We're going to want to go ahead and reduce our value by 1,000 right here for our constrained demand. We can see what our production looks like, and we also have the ability to increase our production as we see fit. But what would happen if we had a situation where we had a very large influx of units right here? Let's say 20,000. How does that impact our organization? Well, for starters, we can immediately see how exactly that affects our inventory. Maybe in our case right here, we have a 50,000 unit or 500,000 unit demand situation. Now immediately what we can see right here is that changes what our overstock and understock situation looks like based on our starting inventories. So we can immediately see on here what our inventory levels look like across the board. In this case, we have an understock situation where the company is not able to fulfill that demand due to the high number of demand needed for this particular demand in place. So the challenge here is that needing to figure out exactly where there needs to be production happening, where demand is spiking, and where they should be focusing on. And this is where Fabric Planning truly brings integrated planning in place. You can plan your demand and your production all within the same unified location and immediately see the impact to your inventory levels. And we'll be talking about that more in our next video where we'll be covering weeks of inventory analysis. So we hope you enjoyed this video here. Thank you, and this is Al signing out.